Good morning, this is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I've been trying to do a reception test of this Kaito Voyager Pro 600 emergency radio. And unfortunately, either my condition or the weather conditions haven't been very good for reception. So I thought, I'm going to do something. Maybe it's not going to be a valid reception testing. Conditions are still not good. And the way I attempted to validate the conditions, what the conditions were, is I used my Grundig 750 on the external antenna, which is G5RV, and did a scan this morning of the HF bands. And at the same time, I did a scan with the Voyager with its internal antenna. Its internal antenna, telescopic antenna, I say internal, it's a telescopic antenna, is only 13 inches long, so that's pretty darn short. So anyway, I did the two. This one, the Voyager, took 6.5 minutes to do the scan. And it's scanning the entire shortwave band, not just the international broadcast frequencies. So that's one reason it takes a long time. So we're going to go through and see what we found. One other thing that I mentioned before about using the ATS function is when you start the ATS by holding down the memory button, it starts wherever the radio is tuned. So if you got it tuned to 10 megahertz, for instance, it's going to start there. It's going to go up to 23 megahertz, then come back down to 2.3, and then scan back up to 10 megahertz. So that means the stations that it finds will not be in order by frequency and memory. So the first memory location won't have the lowest frequency. I think I understand what I said there. I hope you did. So anyway, let's take a look at what we found here. First one it found, what you can see is, and I incremented it to the memory location that gave me the lowest frequency. It starts at memory location 50. And so the first 50 memory locations are reserved for you storing in your own frequencies. So those don't get disturbed. So the first memory location it found is 4.840, and it stored that in memory location 53. And let's see what we got there. Okay. Now, my computer is powering on again. It crashed, so we have to wait till that finishes, and I'll turn that computer off. So that's what you're hearing. And that's one advantage to using my laptop computer, which is across the room. I don't get the interference like I do when I'm using my desktop, which is having some problems. So we'll wait a few seconds till that finishes booting up. And then we'll shut it off. I tried using it earlier this morning and I thought it was going to work, but nah. Once again, it crashed. I do have a new hard drive for it. I just got to get around to installing it. Kind of falling behind. Okay, anytime, computer. Well, at least, now see it? That's where it's going through the boot up. There's the boot up. Now we'll see if we can turn it off. And you'll watch and you'll notice the noise go away. Okay, it's trying to power down now. Going down. Anytime now, you can shut off. Okay, where's the hammer? I want to shut this thing off. There we go. Okay, the computer is off. Still getting even more noise, but the monitor's on. So I'm going to turn the monitor off. Boom, it's gone. So I've located most of my noise. It's that computer and monitor. So anyway, let's go on. So we're getting a pretty good station here. Again, it's at 4.840. So let's go to the next memory location. There's 5 megahertz. WWV coming in pretty good. Now, this is actually coming in pretty good, or better than it was 20 minutes ago when I started this recording and had problems with my computer. So things are improving already. So that's 5 megahertz. Let's go to the next memory location at 5.855. Nothing there. Nice strong noise signal. Now also keep in mind, when I did that scan, the computer was on that was creating all that noise. Okay, moving on. Oops, went the wrong way. Okay, 5.890. Something real weak in there. Let me just see if... Oh, there we go. Now see, that's... I had that radio tilted back so I could see the display. And because I can't swivel the telescopic antenna, I was getting a weaker signal. And then when I set it back up, so the antenna was straight up, the signal got stronger. So that's another disadvantage of not being able to swivel that telescopic antenna. So that's our buddy out of Tennessee, one of his many frequencies. See, it go away. So I have to remember to set it down when I go to another memory location. So there's 5.935, and I don't hear anything. But if I set it down so the antenna is completely vertical, this guy talks slow. Coming in pretty good. So if you have this radio, remember that. Keep the antenna vertical. Let's go to the next one. Very strong. Spanish, 5.980. That might be that frequency sounds familiar, and I guess maybe just this time of day they're broadcasting in Spanish. Let's go to the next one. I think that's the same station at 6.030. Okay, let's go to the next one. Nothing there. Okay, so far this is down at the low band, 3.305. Not finding anything with noise. Nothing there. Nothing there. 4.150, nothing there. Okay, I'm guessing what I'm seeing now. Since apparently it was going up in frequency and then it started going down again, or it went down and then started going up again. I think that's some of the old scans that were stored in memory, because it doesn't do an erase when it starts a scan. It just starts using the memory locations starting at 50. So I'm guessing since I'm up to memory location 68, which would mean 18 hits, it actually stopped. Let me go down. So there's 41, 40, 40, 3.4, 3.3, 3.2, 2.7, 2.6, 6.0. So I think what I'm seeing there is when I did a scan some other evening, it got more stations, therefore used more memory locations. And now I'm seeing those memory locations that were left in there. And like I say, it doesn't appear to zero everything out. So it's a little confusing if that's the case, because you don't know, unless you're watching the the memory location as it's scanning, how high it got up into memory storage. So it didn't do too bad. Again, if I look at my Grundig, it only found 10 locations, 10 stations or whatever. And I'm just going to scan through them real fast and see what it found. Now again, this is a much more expensive radio. It's a shortwave radio. It's not an emergency radio. I'm using an external antenna, so I'm not trying to compare the reception capability of these two radios because I didn't test them the same. So let's just see what it found. Okay, there's 4.840, loud and clear, which is what this found, but it was pretty weak. Okay, there's WWV. This one also found it, again, pretty weak. 5.025. I don't think this one found that. Let me scan back through these. Oops, I went too far. Nope, the next one it found was 5.8. Let's see what it found next. 5.830. Didn't find that one. And of course the other thing is, from 1 minute to the next, conditions can change, and one radio might find something, the other one, that station might have been low as far as transmission coming into my house, and it missed it. So that's not unusual. So let's see what else we got. Okay, we got 5.830. My next one was 5.855. Let's see what the next one is on here. 5.890. So that radio, the Grundig didn't find 5.855, but it found 5.890, which is probably the same. Yeah.
And it's very vital, very vital.
Okay, that's coming in. So I can hear it. Pretty weak. Okay, let's make this test even more convoluted, in that I'm going to take my Kaito loop antenna, and this is just right off the loop. I'm not using the amplifier, and I'm going to connect that to the telescopic antenna and see if it makes any improvement. Nope, no improvement. Now I could get really radical and take my G5RV and hook that. Now again, this is just the center conductor, so I'm not getting the full effect of the G5RV because I'm not using the ground. So let me bring the telescopic antenna down so that I don't break it off, and we'll connect this up. Nope, made it worse. So that's unusual. So anyway, my testing was pretty convoluted, but you do get some idea. Let me turn this back down. You do get some idea that this radio has, I would say, mediocre reception on shortwave. Probably due a lot to the short telescopic antenna. It does not have any external antenna connection, so there's no way of connecting the external antenna except clipping it onto the telescopic antenna. And it would probably do, of course, a lot better outside or away from the noise environment, RF noise environment I have inside my house. So if the weather ever warms up, I'll take this outside and do some reception testing outside. But for now, so that we can kind of move along, I'm going to give it a grade. And I have to be a little careful because this wasn't the best situation in the world. So I'm going to give it a C for reception testing. So you can see it's got 3 B's, 2 A's. So the 2 A's will average out to a B with the C's. So I would say overall for emergency radio, now keeping that in mind, this radio gets a B. And you have to keep in mind the things I pointed out that caused some of these C's in audio quality, special features, and decide for yourself if this is a radio that would be a good radio for emergency use. Should not be your only shortwave radio. So that's the show for today. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.